Good afternoon, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 15780 Southwest Harlequin Drive here in Beaverton. We are located at the right side of the house, about mid-span on your way back. On the right side, and that's as you stand facing the front of the house from the street. Got a 4-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. We're going to check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We're going to introduce water to the line here in just a moment. We're coming in here shortly after home inspection's taken place. Lots of water's been down this thing, but we'll get a few gallons of water down here. And this thing just dives like crazy. Teeny tiny bit of standing water at the base of that drop right there, and you have got the world's tiniest offset joint. We'll revisit that here in a second. We just transitioned there over to 4-inch 3034 PVC pipe. That offset there is all of maybe 1/4 of an inch, and it's also at the base of a very, very hard dive. A lip that tiny, I mean, you'd have to flush a shoe down the toilet to clog something that tiny. It would have almost nothing to do with the offset at all. And the joint looks sealed up. And right now, again, we have no water flowing, so the standing water we're going through right now, we're getting a natural look at. We're not getting the exaggerated look with water running, which is ideal right now. So we're still sitting just over, you're getting to around the 1/2 inch mark. You're somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2 inch there. Now we're getting up a little bit more than that. We've also got debris in front of the camera right now too, so. You get a couple big balls of toilet paper down the line in front of us. Sometimes we're pushing that stuff through the line and damming the pipe up in front of us. And then right here is the main lateral connection. So we'll take a second look at that here in just a moment. And there's our water flow. So we're going to let that drain through here for just a minute while the line drains out. And we're going to go locate. Alright, located the camera head successfully. Line terminates, the line shoots out to the side street here. So as you sit facing the road, we're facing the front of the house from Harlequin. Line basically does a straight shot out the right side of the house, out to the side street. Pull back in here and take a look at the standing water. So it looks like the belly dissipates off here at about 45 feet. I was having a little bit of a time even locating out there due to the depth. At one point I was getting 12, and I got below 15 feet, so it's at a depth there my locator has a very hard time picking up on. Alright, move the camera around there a little bit while it was paused, just to do some locates. So, I did do some markings there using green paint. The belly starts here prior to the curb, about 1.5 feet or so before the curb, getting almost 10 feet deep there. And I'm getting around 13 feet deep where the belly dissipates off. And at those depths, I haven't written depths down for a reason. When you start getting into those depths is where you're pushing the limitations of at least my locating system. The line is down there. It's deep. I would recommend relocating. Those are to be considered semi-rough until relocating is done to double check. A lot of locators start cutting out around 14, 15 feet deep. So here's my 2 cents on this. You do indeed have a belly there. Real quick, I'll notate this on the report, that here at 10 feet, you have about a 1/4 of an inch. Let's back up here slightly. On that outside turn there, you might be as much as a 1/2 inch. It's between a 1/4 and a 1/2 inch or so offset. It's very minor. The joint all appears to be sealed up there. There's no signs of dirt coming down, no dirt streaking or anything like that. And the lip is so small that has almost no chance at all of causing a flow problem. As you can see, there is 0 debris buildup here, and I wouldn't expect to see any with an offset that tiny. So you've got some advantages here, and you have a lot of downhill flow to this thing. As you see, that the line coming back prior to the belly is extremely clean. There's hardly any buildup to speak of. Certainly no backup evidence. You do indeed have debris in the belly itself. But no signs of any blockages or backups. And I just went backwards there into the house. I do that in the event someone's kind of aware of a belly and is trying to mitigate the appearance of sale, and they do a hydrojet to spiff the line up. You know, as far as I can tell there, I don't see obvious signs the line is open to the ground. To me, considering that the only drain cleaning that really I could recommend here is within the belly itself, there's no buildup throughout the line coming back to the house. And that's the stuff that tells you if this line is ever backed up. This house has been here a while. My main concern on something like this is get it jetted, clean the debris out of it, rescope, make sure that the joints look intact. Plastic, generally speaking, can settle quite a lot without the joints opening up to the ground. It's quite amazing in that regard, but not every single time. There is so much fall leading up to that. Everything is going downhill at such a high rate of speed. And you know, one, you have a lot of velocity moving through there, but two, if you could ever even develop a blockage in that belly, you're having to back up, you know, approximately 30 feet of pipe there, 4-inch diameter ABS and PVC pipe, which is smooth plastic, and going up a very steep grade. It creates a lot of head pressure. And after 13 years of doing this, a belly like that, not that it isn't possible to cause a flow problem, generally speaking, when you have this kind of configuration, these pipe materials and 4-inch diameter pipe is decent size, it generally speaking requires the homeowner to help a line like this along to ever get it to a point of backing up. And getting a blockage substantial enough to withstand the kind of head pressure that would build up here, that's the water weight that builds up behind a blockage. So this is not the kind of belly that I would ever foresee causing problems if the line is treated properly. Even balled-up toilet paper would struggle to cause a blockage substantial enough to lead to a backup. Generally speaking, it's going to take stuff like grease buildup in conjunction with wipes, you know, other things like that. I mean, not that toilet paper couldn't get there. You just have to flush a gargantuan amount of it down the line at once, and do that frequently, and to ever get enough buildup there to cause a blockage. So my 2 cents on it is this: the cost to repair that, assuming the pipe joints are not open to the ground. If you've got open pipe joints, ones that are compromised, that are allowing dirt to flow into the line, that's going to create a progressive situation that can also cause hydro erosion problems, not only for the sewer line, but also for the road bed above it. That's a scenario where I'd be more interested in recommending a repair. To me, if the line's all intact here, the cost to repair this thing is outweighing the benefit gained from it. You know, if you had a flatter running sewer line here that didn't have so much fall preceding that belly, I'd probably feel a little bit differently. And or if the belly were the first 25 feet right out of the gate, I'd feel differently about it. This one, it's, you know, if you're going to have a belly here, it's situated relatively good for this scenario. So that's my 2 cents on it. I would start with a hydrojet and, you know, jet it out thoroughly, get every bit of debris out of there, rescope it immediately after the jetting is done, where the water is going to be at its clearest. You're going to get a better view of the condition of the pipe there. If we start seeing pipe joints that are open to the ground and or appear to be, that situation I would feel more comfortable recommending a repair. But tearing a 10 to 13 foot deep trench across this road right now for something that shows 0 signs of backing up to the house, the only buildup I'm seeing is immediately within the belly and nothing prior to it. If a line's causing backups even on a semi-frequent basis, you're going to have buildup that leads back to the house. Most importantly, the spot that almost no one ever does a cleaning on or jetting on is the interior pipe. That's why I went backwards there into the house to see if there was any buildup there. If all of a sudden you get junk built up everywhere on the inside, it gives you a better idea the line was just hydrojetted to clean it up, and it doesn't have that appearance right now. So everything else we've scoped here outside that bellied area, all of it is in good condition and intact, but I would like to see that jetted out there thoroughly and re-scoped to see what the condition of the pipe is looking like under the roadway. That's just my 2 cents. I've done this 13 years, 25,000 sewer scopes at this point, and reality is these bellies just do not cause problems on their own, not especially with this kind of configuration. It takes a conjunction of things to get them to that point, and a lot of it is related to how the line is treated.